The rain tapped softly against the window as Ella sat at her desk, staring blankly at the open notebook in front of her. It had been months since she had felt like herself, and the weight of it all seemed to press harder with every passing day. The soft patter of rain, once a sound that brought her comfort, now seemed to echo the quiet emptiness inside her. Ella had always been a bright and energetic person, full of life and laughter. But something had changed. Slowly at first, like a shadow creeping in at the edges of her thoughts, and then all at once, overwhelming her. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, where getting out of bed felt like an impossible task. Friends stopped calling as often, and Ella, lost in her own darkness, couldn't find the strength to reach out. It wasn't that she didn't want to feel better. She did. Desperately. But depression wasn't something she could just shake off. It clung to her, a silent, invisible weight that made even the simplest tasks feel like mountains. She had tried to explain it to others, but words always failed her. "Just get up more," people would say. "You have so much going for you. Why are you sad?" The worst part was that she didn't have an answer. It was as if the sadness had no reason, no logic. One afternoon, as she lay in bed staring at the ceiling, Ella's phone buzzed. It was a message from her old friend, Maya. They hadn't spoken in weeks, maybe months. She hesitated, feeling a pang of guilt for having drifted away, but opened the message anyway. "Hey Ella, I'm thinking of you. I know you've been going through a lot. I'm here if you ever want to talk, or just sit in silence together. No pressure. Miss you." The message hit her harder than she expected. For the first time in what felt like forever, she felt a tiny flicker of something relief, maybe? The thought that someone cared, even though she had shut herself off, was comforting. Ella didn't reply right away. She wasn't ready. But the message stayed with her, echoing in her mind. Days passed, and though the heaviness didn't lift, something in Ella began to shift. It wasn't big or dramatic. It was small, like the tiniest crack in the walls she had built around herself. She started writing in her notebook again, not much, just a few lines here and there. But it was something. It felt like the first step, however shaky, toward finding her way back. One day, Ella decided to take a walk. She didn't know why. It had been weeks since she had left the house for anything other than groceries. But the air inside felt too heavy and she needed to breathe. The park wasn't far, just a few blocks, but the walk felt like an eternity. When she finally reached the bench she used to sit on every afternoon, she felt a strange sense of accomplishment, as if she had conquered something inside herself just by being there. The sun was setting, casting a soft golden light over the trees. Ella sat in silence, watching the world move around her. People walking their dogs, kids playing, joggers passing by. It all seemed so distant, yet strangely peaceful. For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel like she was drowning. She wasn't okay, not yet, but she wasn't sinking either. Over the next few weeks, Ella continued to take small steps. Some days were easier than others. On the good days, she would write in her journal, take a walk, maybe even call Maya. On the bad days, she stayed in bed, barely able to move, her mind clouded by the familiar fog. But the important thing was that she kept trying. She kept pushing, even when it felt like the weight of her depression was too much to bear. Eventually, Ella started therapy. It wasn't easy. Talking about her feelings, her fears, the numbness that had consumed her, was terrifying. But her therapist, a calm and understanding woman named Dr. Patel, guided her through it. Week by week, session by session, Ella learned how to confront the darkness inside her. She learned that it was okay not to have all the answers, that her feelings were valid even if they didn't make sense. One of the hardest things for Ella was accepting that recovery wasn't linear. Some days, she felt like she was making progress, like the fog was lifting. Other days, it felt like she was back at square one, consumed by the same despair that had haunted her for months. But Dr. Patel reminded her that healing wasn't a straight path. It had twists and turns, ups and downs. And that was okay. Maya became a constant presence in Ella's life again. They started meeting for coffee once a week. At first, it was awkward. Ella didn't know what to say, and the silence between them felt heavy. But Maya didn't push. She didn't ask questions or try to fill the space with meaningless chatter. She just sat with Ella, offering quiet companionship. Over time, the silence became less uncomfortable, and eventually, they started talking again, really talking. One afternoon, as they sat together at the cafe, Maya looked at Ella and smiled. "You know, you're stronger than you think," she said. Ella looked down at her coffee, her fingers tracing the rim of the cup. "I don't feel strong," she admitted quietly. "Strength isn't about never struggling," Maya replied. "It's about keeping going, even when things are hard." Ella thought about that for a long time. She had spent so much time feeling weak, feeling like a failure because she couldn't just snap out of it. But maybe Maya was right. Maybe the fact that she was still here, still trying, meant something. The months passed, and slowly but surely, Ella started to feel more like herself again. She still had bad days, of course, but they didn't feel as overwhelming as before. The weight of her depression wasn't gone, but it had lightened. She had learned how to manage it, how to live with it without letting it consume her. There were still moments when the darkness crept in, when she felt like she was slipping back into the abyss. But now, she had tools to fight it. She had her writing, her walks, her therapy. She had Maya, and slowly, other friends started to come back into her life too. One evening, as Ella sat on her balcony watching the sunset, she realized something. She wasn't the same person she had been before the depression. She had changed in ways that were both painful and beautiful. She had learned how to be vulnerable, how to ask for help. She had learned that it was okay to not be okay, that her worth wasn't tied to her productivity or her happiness. Ella still had a long way to go, but for the first time in a long time, she felt hopeful. She had faced the darkness and survived. And that, she realized, was enough.